Hey guys, I hope you're all doing. All right. Um, I am. I am at the moment out with COVID, so I hope to be back as soon as possible. In the meantime, I miss you guys a lot. I hope you're doing okay. I'm looking forward to getting back, and thank you for your patience and hard work in my absence. Um, Whoever is subbing, please help them out. Um, please do your best to have a good class. I miss you. I hope to be back soon. In this short video, I wanted to just explain how to do the activity for today. It's called Is It True? I wanted to take a short break from the normal trajectory of class to do something that I thought would be meaningful, interesting, and educational for you guys. Um, so here's the quick 2-sentence, maybe 4-sentence summary of the why behind this assignment. 100 years ago, people had to go to school in order to get information, right? This was before the internet, right? So you had to actually go to a place to get information, to learn information from a teacher. Okay, now information is everywhere. Okay, so given that information is everywhere, what's most important now? You don't have to go to school to get the information. You can get information anywhere. Okay, what you need nowadays is the ability to sort through and sift through information and use good judgment and good discernment about what is good information, what's true information, and what is information that's just being fed to you, so that someone else can profit, so that someone else can manipulate. Any variety of ends. Okay, so it's really more about being able to discern what information is good information, what information has gone through the process of scientific experimentation and peer review, and what information is not good, what information might be out there for means of profit or for means of manipulation. So that's the overall goal of today. So I'll summarize the assignment now. It's called Is It True? And I'll just kind of read what this first slide says. It says, over time, claims have accumulated in our society that end up being spread around and told as if they are truth. In reality, these claims may have little basis for truth, but are often used to advertise or market products. In this example, okay, or rather in this activity, what I want you to do is think about a claim that you may have heard someone say, that you may have seen on YouTube, that you may have read on the internet, that you may have viewed on social media, okay? And we're gonna do some deeper digging to find out, like, is it 100% true? Is it only partially true? Does it have no basis in truth? Okay. And part of the way we're gonna do that is to look at peer-reviewed scientific studies. Okay, so on the second slide, I'm going to give you some examples. On the second and third slide, I'm going to give you some examples of claims that are not actually scientifically validated, but are used to market products. Okay, so here's an example. Study shows that red wine and dark chocolate can prevent aging. Okay, so this was in lots of internet magazines. It was in publications. You could see it, I don't know, quoted on YouTube, on social media. And it sounds really official. Hey, study shows. And I bet that there's lots of people out there that like red wine and dark chocolate. So lots of people are gonna take very favorably to this study and go out and, buy more dark chocolate and buy more red wine because they think, oh, hey, it's something I like consuming anyway. And what do you know? It can prevent aging. Well, it turns out that this study is not actually based in scientific reality. It's not a peer-reviewed study, at least as it's marketed in the statement on this slide. So what actually happened is that in a lab somewhere, People took extract from red grape skin and they placed it on human cells. And they noticed that this caused a change in the human cells. Okay, now the marketers, the red wine marketers and the dark chocolate marketers got a hold of the study and construed it to mean that it prevents aging, but the actual scientific study shows no evidence of any of these things being able to prevent aging. Let me give you just a few more examples. If you search on the internet and you just look, you know, without a discerning eye on the internet, you will find articles talking about how the following things can prevent cancer. Okay, so you'll be able to find articles saying that cleaning can prevent cancer, red wine can prevent cancer, coffee can prevent cancer, vitamin D can prevent cancer, and cannabis can prevent cancer. Okay, now if you do another search, you'll also find that these things can cause cancer. Shopping, okay, red wine, okay, oh wait a minute, that was in the prevent list. Okay, what's going on there? Coffee, oh, coffee both causes and prevents cancer. How is that possible? Divorce, okay, and oh, look at this, cannabis, another thing that both causes and prevents cancer. Okay, so obviously in order to be able to sift through and know what is good information and what is bad information, we have to be discerning with how we critique the information we're finding and where we get it from. And one of the ways to do that is by always looking at peer-reviewed scientific experiments, okay, which is where we're going today. So here's the idea, okay? What I would like you to do is I would like you for this assignment to select a claim that you have heard about somewhere that you wonder if it's really true. Okay, could be the earth is flat, could be that vaccines cause autism, right? Here's some potential things that I just thought of off the top of my head. Social media causes depression. By the way, I'm not saying if these are true or false. I'm just saying that these are things that I've heard and read about on the internet, and I didn't do any investigation to see, is it actually true? So social media causes depression. Vitamin C helps boost your immune system. CBD helps cure depression. Violent video games make people violent. Milk gives you strong bones. Melatonin helps you sleep. Sugar causes hyperactivity. Chocolate causes acne, i.e. pimples. Okay, or something else that you may have heard and want to do some research about. Okay, so just choose a claim. It could be a claim that you know is bogus and you want to just have fun with it. It could be a claim that you're actually wondering, I wonder, is there any truth to that? Okay, so once you choose your claim, I'd like you to please write it on slide 5 with your name. Okay, on slide 6, write one sentence about where you saw, heard, read about, listened to this particular claim. Okay, did you hear it from family? Did you hear it from friends? Did you read it on Twitter? Did you see it on YouTube? Did you read it from the New York Times? Right? That's what you're going to do on slide 5. Or slide 6 rather. And then on the remaining 4 slides, slides 7, 8, 9, and 10, okay, it's essentially the same thing that I'd like you to do. Okay, but you're going to find 4 different sources. And the key to these sources is they're going to be peer-reviewed scientific studies. So I would like you to go to Google Scholar for this information. Okay, and for each article you find, I'd like you to do a 2 to 4 sentence summary. Okay, the point here is not to write a lot. I don't need you to use perfect grammar. I don't need you to go super in depth. Okay, the point of this assignment is to think about something that you've heard and to do a little bit more digging to find out, is it really scientifically validated? Okay, so let's see, I wanted to actually check out, I'll just do an example. Let's see if, let's suppose I actually wanted to investigate this claim a little bit more about, is there a connection between violent video games and violence? Do violent video games make people violent? By the way, Google Scholar is, it's when you search Google Scholar, what you're searching are professional peer-reviewed scientific articles. That means that it's an experiment that's been, it's an experiment that has not been funded through any kind of private interest. And the experiment has been done, written up, results reported, and then peer-reviewed by other scientists for validity. So I'm just going to type in violent video games. Violent video games and violence. And what will come up are scientific studies and also things that are also reviews, which are just reviews of existing. Okay, and right here you see a whole bunch of things. The effect of violent video games on aggression, the effects of violent video games on adolescence, violent video games delinquency and youth violence, new evidence. Okay, violent video games versus and real world violence, rhetoric versus data. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take a look at this. This is from the American Psychological Association. And these are high level, these are written at a very, very high level, but they'll include abstracts, which are really just summaries. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and read this abstract. It says, this is from the American Psychological Association, and it says, laboratory and correlational studies often find a link between violent video games and minor or benign forms of aggressive behavior. Okay, so there's a link. Based on these studies, the media lawmakers and researchers often imply a link between violent video games and violent criminal behavior. Using a similar methodology employed by researchers to examine predictors of severe violent behaviors, okay, now they're talking about the methods they used for this particular study, okay? And it says here, contrary to the claims that violent video games are linked to aggressive assaults and homicides, no evidence was found to suggest that this medium was positively related to real-world violence in the United States. Unexpectedly, many of the results were suggestive of a decrease in violent crime in response to violent video games. Possible explanations for these unforeseen findings are discussed, and researchers are cautioned about generalizing the results from laboratory and correlational studies to severe forms of violent behavior. Okay, so this particular study is saying that even though lawmakers and the media and even researchers often tend to think that there's a link between violence and violent video games, that there's not actually evidence to suggest that. Okay, so that could be one article that I would summarize, and that's what I could write right here in my 2 to 4 sentence article summary. Okay, and then I'd go on and I'd look at another one, at another study. Okay, let's look at this one. This is about new evidence. Okay. And so this is a study from the, let's see, Youth Violence and Juvenile Justice. I'm trying to find which journal it is. This was published October 17th, 2012. Okay. And so this one is talking about how violent video game playing is correlated with aggression, but its relation to antisocial behavior in correctional and juvenile justice samples is largely unknown. Okay. And so it looks like this study looked at a sample of youth who were institutionalized in a jail setting or a juvenile delinquent setting. And I guess they did find that violent video games were associated with antisociality. Okay, so video games are associated with antisocial behavior. Okay. So a word of note here as you do this is that more often than not, when you're looking at real world scientific research, you're not going to get a clear yes or no answer. It's going to be yes, but, or no, but, or that there's conflicting findings. And that's often true with a lot of these things. Okay, so that's the purpose of this assignment. I hope you guys enjoy it. Try to have fun with it. I miss you guys. I'll see you soon. Submit what you are able to get done today. And I hope to be back really soon. Thank you guys for your effort. Take care.